Francisco Kiato, trained by the legendary British legend, Exotic Adrian Street, Skull Crushers Wrestling School. 21 years, accumulated everything from ex-wives, houses, cars, miles, states, countries. Now, Frank Kiato, head trainer, WWNTC. Now it's my time to get back. See, I'm on the downward side of my career, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me anymore. It's about building the stars of tomorrow. I have a very important job. See, I have to shape the rest of the wrestling profession between now and the time that my time is up in this business. And I'm blessed with that. See, I've been trained by some of the best, and now it's my time to get back. So thank you, Wrestling Over Everything. Thank you, August Archwell.
This is for Frank. Esto pa mi padre.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank. This is for Frank.
This is for Frank.
Season 5 of Just Wrestling continues. We are celebrating the incredible life of Francisco Kiato, who's just incredibly important to all of us here at Just Wrestling. I'm Trevin Adams, joined by Simon Says, and it's time for something special.
Trev, we are kicking off with tag team action. Everybody that is watching this at home, I'm sure that they are taking up an entire seat, but they're only going to need the edge, because the tag team action you're about to witness is something you'll not find anywhere else. Not just the activity, not just the ability, not just the agility, but the passion behind it. Everyone you see gathered around the ring in one way or another was affected by the late, great King of Florida, Francisco Kiato.
And this is indeed a unique way to kick off episode 2 of season 5. It is the team of Skrillatronic, of Skrilla and Tronic, that's their names, versus Sage Scott and Devin Diaz.
I actually had the pleasure of introducing the Florida scene to Skrillatronic at MegaCon. Both of these guys are guys that I hold very near and dear to my heart. They are two of my adopted nephews, but I'll tell you what, Trev, Sage Scott is also one of my favorite people, but a guy at the top of my list, I don't, let's use the insider term, mark out for a lot in the business these days. Devin Diaz is a guy that I very closely have my eye on.
I guess you like a little dirty, as it looks like Skrilla is the one going to start it for Skillatronic. I got to avoid calling them Tronics. I keep thinking of Deathnotronic. For those who know, you know.
God, look at Skrilla? Is this Skrilla or is this Tronic?
This one's Skrilla.
Skrilla, look at the 18 pack he's got. And Devin, Trevin, wow, this is going to be a madhouse calling this. Not above, just going right to the midsection with a big knee knocking the wind out of Skrilla. Look at those gloves. Where do you think you get a pair of gloves like that?
Amazon for sure. And if you got Prime, you'll get it pretty quickly, possibly between 4 and 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Wait, that quick?
If you pay $25.
I'm getting us a matching pair.
Hey, kidding aside right now, I give it to Skrilla, not slowing down despite getting taken down by Triple D, 30 Devin Diaz. And Devin, of course, with the size advantage, but despite Skrilla eating some canvas, think about it, these are full-time DJs, part-time professional wrestlers, and if it's a rave, a festival, you know Skrillatronic's going to be there. They had to be here today for this celebration of Francisco's life.
TA, I cringe at guys that wrestle with no boots, that wrestle barefoot. I cringe at guys that don't wear knee pads. Skrilla has shooter shoes, glowy gloves, a mask, and a freaking backpack. And he's just dancing his way out of each and every one of Devin Diaz's attacks.
Hey, I will give it to Skrilla showing the speed, and right now,
Trippy.
I feel like we need like a.
I thought we were going with it.
I was all about this, but Devin was not. In a mere 2 years or so, young man that started with Jay Lethal, now training with Chris Silvio. Devin has upped his game, has been so impressive, but
Whoa!
it is the agility of Skrilla in control.
He's Skrillaing his way into outmaneuvering the dirty one.
And what a drop kick.
TA, is there a better mullet in wrestling right now?
It's hard to argue with the mullet of Dirty Devin Diaz.
And this guy, Skrilla, is having his own personal rave. I guess he's the only one that can hear the music. But he lost
I
the
was
glove
trying
there.
to do some dubstep earlier when I did the wah, 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 wah. That's what that was. But I think the fun and games are going to be over with Sage Scott coming to the ring. No nonsense. Big, tough dude in Sage Scott.
Trev, just look at the physique on Sage. If Sage Scott would have been the Titanic, the iceberg would have sunk. This guy is a, as they say, poop brick house, as it were. Just brushing off those chops, glowy gloves and all.
Those are nice gloves, though. I really like them. Oh! The
Chop
term...
him down.
You're right, and I'm sorry to cut you off. That was indeed a shotgun blast. The term knife edge chop gets used a lot, and that was a machete, but I give credit here to Skrilla, still in this thing.
You know, Trev, I was given a piece of advice when I was a fledgling in the business that said you really know when someone has the potential to be successful if they look like they would make a cool looking action figure. I would play with the Skrillatronic action figures.
Now you got Tronic in the ring, other half of this DJ duo.
Just a drive-by mugging of attacks.
Rolling through with Sage. I think Sage is thrown off.
I don't know if he's being hypnotized by their outfits, the gloves, or they're just fast-paced maneuver, but these guys definitely have Sage reeling.
Those outfits are Strobe City, definitely not built for air, and that's why I love it. This is just amazing, seeing Tronic go and
Gone.
yeah,
Gone.
out of the park and then some. Sage Scott, there it is, power, strength, athleticism.
Sage just dubstepped all over Tronic here, and he's dragging him to his corner. Devin Diaz smells blood in the water, and now they're trying to incapacitate Tronic by leveling out. Well, he's not just committing to the knees, he's stomping him all over the place.
Dirty Devin, Sage Scott, not regular tag team partners, but gelling well here. And to your point, what a chop. I think the fun and games is over for Skrillatronic.
Skrillatronic has the advantage of being a legitimate tag team, but Devin Diaz and Sage Scott have the advantage of being overpowering size-wise, mass-wise, but also a complete disregard for sportsmanship.
Especially Devin Diaz. I think if there's anyone who lives up to his moniker of dirty, it is absolutely Devin Diaz, but Tronic trying to fight back.
Ooh, a big black elbow by Triple D. Goes for the cover.
Impressively not the end of the fight, but
He may have knocked some of Tronic's teeth into the back row here by our announce table. Tronic going for the tag, and Skrilla was out of position. Out of position for the tag. He could have saved his tag team partner from what is about to go down.
I think Skrilla was more worried about the gloves than anything else, and right now, Dirty Devin...
Did you see that, Trev, though? The methodical placement of that stomp to the top of the head. That'll rock your world for sure.
And Devin, just look at the way the knee hit the ribs, hit the kidneys. That's Dirty Devin Diaz. It's not just, here's a knee, I'm going to hurt you, and now go for the pin.
No, just precision striking. This is not just an unmitigated attack. Devin Diaz knows exactly where to plant his strikes. He's like a surgeon in there with these guys, and he's hooking them for a vertical suplex, it seems. A snap suplex.
Tossing Tronic over. Wrong side of town. Could be the end.
Now, we saw this in the set versus Frick and Torres. Devin Diaz and Sage Scott are now dividing the ring in half. And he's got the front face lock. Full advantage, the front chancery. Can Tronic get out of this and get to his partner? He's going to need to if he plans to stay in this.
The torque there on the neck, the damage being done to Tronic, the great placement in the ring here by Devin Diaz. And this is the situation for the smaller man in Tronic. You're fighting to breathe. Everything you do hurts and tires you out. Where does he go from here?
You've got to dig down deep in places you didn't even know you had. And as my brother from another mother, the new Magnum TA, Trevin Adams, mentioned, Devin Diaz does not have a lot of years of experience under his belt.
Ooh, hold on. I'm sorry, Simon, but unfortunately our official, Lee Canfield, was distracted by Sage Scott and does not realize that Skrilla just tagged in.
Hey, you can't call what you can't see. But I don't remember the last time I saw a young guy with such a rocket strapped to his backside, elevating to heights unheard of in a rookie year, as Devin Diaz has had.
No, I give Devin a lot of credit for what he has accomplished so quickly, but again, the reality is these are two individuals as Tronic does the tag.
The ref saw the tag that time, and he's rocking and reeling. These are disorientating them. May have caused a little motion sickness. Dirty dancing action going on there.
Nobody puts Skrilla in the corner. And the kick. Skrilla's still in this thing. Head first goes Sage Scott. The lights are going on.
Now, Trev, the glove waving seems to be working, but you gotta hope. There's a cover. Oh, I thought that was it. You better hope for Tronic and Skrilla's sake that Sage Scott does not begin to shake off the distraction, the nauseating disorientation of those gloves, because one strike is going to put these guys down for good.
That was really the best chance for Skrilla Tronic. I don't know if this match continues, if things are going to get better, but as I'm questioning this, look at this.
Wow! A basket toss neck breaker.
And now the pin broken up by Dirty Devin Diaz.
Devin in the perfect position. Trev, I've seen Sage Scott slap harder than most people punch. A big boot for your troubles. And he slaps harder than most people punch, and his punches dole out concussions. But now it's Devin Diaz that's handing out flippers and kicks and big boots and an Irish whip.
Tilt-a-whirl. Is it countered?
Puts a stop to the momentum. And still able to deliver that satellite DDT. I thought that Devin Diaz had put a stop to it.
Well, unfortunately, big old Fax is here. Here's Sage Scott. No! Skrilla to the mat.
Big shotgun dropkick.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
And Skrilla, I don't know how he's able to completely see with that mask on, but he seems to be fending for himself pretty well. And Scott, oh, little Luthez press action.
Not getting all of it, and here's Sage. There is the power on display.
Trevin, I believe that sound is the fat lady warming up to sing. Oh!
Dominator, this is it. It is.
Trevin, what you saw there was a fall-away slam into a fireman's carry, into a pump handle, finalizing in a dominator. And that's all she wrote for these guys. The rave is over.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much of an after party here. Unique tag team, Sage Scott, Dirty Devin Diaz.
Now, this is a match I'd like to see. I'd like to see the dirty one versus Double S. Whoa! We may see it!
Devin playing with fire.
And the guys around the ring letting us know exactly what's going on. That was dirty. And Sage Scott is seething right now. I'm being told in my invisible Bluetooth headset, we are following that tag team action with even more tag team action here. Just Wrestling Season 5 for Frank. I am the Emerald Emperor of Professional Wrestling, and sitting with me now is the voice of WWN, Mr. Trevin Adams.
I'm excited here, Simon. This, seeing the Miami boys who are so well gelled, and it's Donati, it's Fabu.
The Miami boys versus the Butterflies. We could be in for a treat here, Trev. Fabu Andre, such an unorthodox competitor. What we saw in Skrillatronic is going to be multiplied by Fabu Andre, and of course, he's got his muscle by his side, Tony Donati. Big fan of these guys, all four of these guys. The Miami boys, I wasn't too familiar with until very recently, but these two guys, Chris and Puma, along with Xander, these guys have really impressed me as of late.
Heavenly Butterflies, Tony Donati, Fabu Andre, earlier in their career, spent a lot of time with Francisco Kiato, learning the ropes, so to speak. And of course, the Miami boys, Chris Malachite starting things off for his team, as well as Puma Johnson, spending a ton of time in recent history with Francisco Kiato.
And there you see the armbands on Malachite and Puma, the Kiato tribute armbands. These guys definitely sat under Frankie's learning tree. And we're gonna see what kind of stuff they put to use here that they picked up from the king himself. Fabu hasn't even taken off his cape.
Fabu might not, he might wrestle in the cape.
Holy smokes.
Fabu's one of those, hold on.
And you gotta think, Trev, the most experienced of this quartet is Fabu Andre. You've seen him on NWA, you've seen him on AEW, and he right now is taking his sweet time removing that cape. Mind games, Trevin, mind games.
You beat me to it. And that was actually the point I was starting to make when Fabu said, ooh, look at the distraction. Well done by Fabu. Might be bending a little bit of the rules. You see Donati's already coming in while the official's distracted because, of course, Puma Johnson got angry after having a jacket thrown in his face. But that's the thing when it comes to Fabu, and let alone Tony as a unit, you're already seeing they're dominating the match before it's even begun.
Puma with a big flying double clothesline flattens the Heavenly Butterflies. Tandem drop kicks. The Miami boys are in business, and business is good. They're taking advantage of that 5 count, though, Trev. Wow, a standing blockbuster. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. That would have been the earliest ending to a match for Season 5 of Just Wrestling if he had gotten that 3 count.
No question, a hair away as Puma Johnson's tagged in for the Miami boys. And the point I was making about Fabu, the mind games, they can get in your head. But right now, that is not helping Fabu Andre as Puma dumping down that butterfly.
And we are seeing the future of tag team wrestling throughout our event here, Just Wrestling Season 5. The Heavenly Butterflies, the set, the Miami boys, Skrillatronic. Trevin, who is your favorite tag team in Florida, and why is it the Circle of Disrespect?
You win. I'll give it to you. Circle of Disrespect. No question right there, but Fabu
Slips out.
tossing Puma into the corner where Chris Malachite is, but now Tony Donati tagged in.
Donati runs
Butterflies.
right into a double pair of boots right to the mush. Cover.
Knockout blow.
These drop kicks proving to be very effective for the Miami boys, but still not enough to keep the Butterflies down. Is he squatting with a body slam?
Getting ready. Kind of more like a push press situation.
Jeez Louise, I can't even squat with a shirt on. Ooh. He's got 200-something pounds of Tony Donati and a jumping headbutt. There's the pin.
Donati, signs of life, but
look
Puma
at the
Johnson
agony.
showing the strength, absolutely.
Did you see his face, Trev?
Oh, the damage has been done, and it's going to continue. Look at the knees.
Wow, interesting
Malachite.
maneuver. Interesting maneuver from the Miami boys, using each other.
Indeed, in the pin. And that's it. It was those knees. They were weapons. Tandem offense. Donati's still in this thing, but it's just getting worse and worse for Tony Donati.
And that touches my heart. Obviously shades of the teachings of Frank Kiato. When Frank and I would tag as a Circle of Disrespect, we would use a maneuver such as that where I would seesaw my feet over the middle rope and Frankie would drive the opponent's head into a stalling German suplex. The strength of Donati.
I think Donati's thought was, Puma, you want to do squats or push presses with me? Well, I'm going to do some deadlifts with you. And Donati seems to be a bit recovered after the beating he'd taken.
These guys need to divide the ring as the other tag team. What the heck did we just see?
Think about it. If you're Fabu, you were watching the knees of Chris Malachite. So Donati's answer was, hey, my partner can kick your partner in the head as I toss him in. Puma Johnson in trouble.
Johnson expecting to hit that turnbuckle and got kicked in the back of the head for his troubles. And there you see the agony on his face as Fabu sizes him up. Johnson still says, get off me, back away. And Fabu chops him down.
Johnson, one of the more junior members from the perspective of years in the sport of the Miami boys, but a tough young man, grew up in the gritty streets of the Bahamas. Really the kind of background that it's going to harden you. It's going to make you tough, but despite the pomp and circumstance that is Fabu Andre, as you can see, Fabu can go.
And Trev, how very poignant what you just pointed out. People think the Bahamas, they think vacation, tropical drinks, a good time. That is not the case for the residents of the Bahamas, as is Puma Johnson, our only, to my knowledge, Bahamian competitor here at Just Wrestling, and he's being taken to task by the Heavenly Butterflies. A neck breaker combo, 1, 2, no, not enough.
And credit to Puma Johnson, finding a way, at least for the moment, to weather the storm, but Malachite, again, incited by Donati, and you see damage being done while the official has no clue what's happening.
Donati taking advantage of the passion of Malachite in the corner, and not only are the Heavenly Butterflies dividing the ring, they seem to be firmly keeping Johnson in that corner turnbuckle.
That's what you got to do. We've talked about it multiple times this season. It is about the unit, and right now, Donati, Fabu, they are showing that they have been tagging together for years. It's got to be well over half a decade at this point as Puma starts to fight on.
You know, it's a thrill to watch all of these young guys in action. It is an honor to be included in Just Wrestling Season 5. If I had one complaint, it would be having to look at Puerto Rican Hound Dog at ringside with his shirt off. He looks like somebody poured his body into that outfit and he forgot to say when.
Tag to Chris Malachite.
How's the fire? Happy belated birthday, Puerto Rican Hound Dog. And Malachite is just running circles, eat the feet around Tony Donati, knocks down Fabu Andre.
Ain't nothing like soul food when you're trained by Soul Man Alex G. And here we go.
Look at you. Look at you.
Rolling through.
Mr. Play on Words. That's why I like you.
The moonsault, the pin, broken up.
I don't care what Ron Nemi says about you. I like you.
Hey, Hardcore Giant's great guy to hang with.
Big flippers. Donati spins him through and gets a flipper of his own. And Andre with a code breaker. I thought Malachite was out on his feet for a second there. And Donati's got to get out of the ring before the referee disqualifies them.
Official obviously giving some latitude with the importance of the night's event.
What the heck?
That corkscrew into a senton and now coming off the top of the knees. Could be the end for the Miami boys. And it would have been if it wasn't for Puma Johnson.
You hit it right on the head, Trev. You got to think if Johnson had been a second later, that would have been it for this tag team bout.
There's a reason they call him the Black Puma. Puma, quick as a cat, but caught, at least in the moment.
And Fabu, this is breaking down into a Pier 6 Donnybrook. Could we see a heart attack here? And Fabu says, no way! Code breaker to Malachite. Donati levels Puma. Beautiful Northern Lights suplex.
Donati just showing the strength as well as the ability to execute. And there's a tandem maneuver. You want a double backcracker into the end. It is.
What a finish. Golly good. I've never seen that, Trev. An STO into a lung cracker got the win for the Heavenly Butterflies. They'll be going to the pay window tonight, if you will.
Beautiful. What a matchup. What a night so far. And we still got a lot more to come here in episode 2, season 5. And are we going to get another moment?
I'm surprised by this show of sportsmanship from these two teams.
Continuing on.
Trev, you know what time it is? It's time for more tag team action here in Season 5 of Just Wrestling.
You got the father-son duo, the Puerto Rican Hound Dogs, Damian Gemini, Rafael Gonzalez. Who are they gonna face?
Little Dog and Big Dog. Look at Daniel Starling begging for the call.
And there you go. You got the rest of the Miami boys, Baby Keith, Xander Maddox.
Trev, quite the quartet these Miami boys are. And we saw Malachi and Puma earlier. Now we see Baby Keith and Xander. Xander, a guy that I have become a huge advocate for.
There's some jaw-jacking going on here
Look at
between these two teams. They're no strangers to one another. They've definitely faced off in a WWN ring before, but this is Just Wrestling. This is a big night.
One Puerto Rican Hound Dog is the same exact weight as all four of the Miami boys. Look at
hold
this.
on. What do we got here? Is that a beverage?
It is an adult beverage he's partaking in.
No, that one. I think that one's more water-like. It's got the light in the name.
I'm surprised Hound Dog wasn't offered a rack of lamb. What are Skrillatronics hats doing in there? This is off to an interesting start, Trev. Are we going to see a dance-off?
Hey, it's a fun night here. We are celebrating the life of Francisco Kiato.
Who was a renowned fun-haver.
Very renowned fun-haver.
Yeah.
Great dancer, too, right?
My moves were a lot better than Frankie's. Oh, a little booty action here.
Is this Dale Mowbray? What's going on?
I don't...
If you know, you know.
You know. What does Hound Dog do? What is... Wow. I make fun. Puerto Rican Hound Dog may be fat. Puerto Rican Hound Dog may look homeless. That's it. He may be those things. That's the end of my thought.
I got a lot of respect
I do too.
for Rafael Gonzalez.
I'm jonesing with him.
And I know you guys have a history. I get it. But right now, we're going to find out, does Xander Maddox make a little bit of a mistake playing around with Big Dog for too long?
And Trev, I do want to say this. We can go behind the scenes for a second. I'm joking about Puerto Rican Hound Dog. We go way back. But in the wake of Frankie's passing, Puerto Rican Hound Dog has really stepped up at the training facility at the WWNTC, helping mold the minds, the ability, the maneuvers, if you would, of the young students at the training center.
The Big Dog has been clutch, helping fill the void that not many could fill that Francisco left as the head coach at the WWNTC.
And you see his body and you think unassuming fat guy, but anyone who's ever seen Rafael perform over the last near 20 years know this guy can go. And Damian has the advantage of sitting under his father's learning tree in and out of the TC.
And that is the situation. Little Dog, as we were putting it, only about 2 years in the sport, but trained by his father. It's going to help the unit, if you will, be even more of a unit. They are the first father-son team to hold gold in the World Wrestling Network. Wow. What a moment that was. And, of course, as already mentioned, Miami boys, no strangers to the Hound Dogs.
Look at the athleticism. Baby Keith versus Baby Hound Dog. And Keith put all of his energy and body weight into that tackle, taking down Gemini. I feel like I'm watching Cirque du Soleil here.
Both men with the agility
landing on his feet,
seeming to have answers for what the other has. Really defying gravity.
Trev, if anybody is ever foolish enough to question whether or not Magnum TA Trevin Adams knows his stuff, you called it. These guys knowing each other so well, they are going tit for tat. They know what the other one's going to do before they even do it.
The question is, who's going to make that first mistake?
Seems like Gemini is on the up and up, and now he's got firm control of that left limb. Big Dog tagging in.
And this duo, they get working together. It's going to be the end for the Miami boys. As much as the Miami boys been running buddies for a long time. Wow.
Look at big Puerto Rican Hound Dog using his son as a projectile into the cover. Throwing his own body onto baby Keith and flattening the Miami boy, but Xander gets tagged in.
Xander charges in, but caught quickly by Big Dog.
A lot of sauce on that body slam. Puerto Rican Hound Dog like it a sauce.
Like red gravy?
Like red. God, Frank, the gravy versus the sauce. What do you call it, Trevin?
I'm actually a tomato sauce kind of guy.
Attaboy. Same. Ooh, and he fires back with a big right hand and a big elbow right to the mush.
Oh, poof, out of the corner, hung over the top rope, and Big Dog's in trouble. Sling blade.
Not to toot my own horn there, Trev, but I may have had a hand in teaching the Miami boys that little maneuver there. You know, humble brag.
Humble brag.
Hashtag humble brag. He slapped him right in the butt.
Well, you may recall earlier there was all the joking about slapping the high knee, and it actually did happen. Big Dog was able to catch Xander.
What? The high knee. Big tag.
I mean, we're peachy here, right?
High knee. His gluteus maximus could be in trouble. I'm surprised they were able to send Hound Dog into the ropes, but it took both of them. A version of total elimination, shades of the Eliminators.
Now that's an awesome tag team.
Yep, we were talking about this off air. I'd put them on my list.
And could it be? That's what I, by the way.
Do you see how high Baby Keith went up from that kick out from Hound Dog?
And a lot of credit here to the big man staying in here. But I agree. You can see the size differential.
You gotta keep him
and that's
down.
what happens to the Miami boys. They are getting tossed around. It is more difficult to stop Big Dog. And you don't want to give the Big Dog any room to be hitting you with blows like that.
TA, what is the strategy here? If you are Xander and Keith against a guy, 1-2 cover, against a guy like Puerto Rican Hound Dog, do you chop his legs down from under him? Do you continue with the tag team maneuvers? Do you hold him down in front face locks? How do you tackle a guy that you are giving up such a weight advantage to?
I think that becomes the challenge is for the Miami boys because they're used to facing teams that are closer to their size. What is the right answer of everything you threw out there? And I don't know if slugging it with Big Dog's the right answer.
No way. Getting into a brawling contest with Puerto Rican Hound Dog is going to spell disaster for you.
And nothing against Xander. Xander's a tough young man, but albeit we say that, look at this. It's working out for Xander Maddox.
And Xander's no small guy by any stretch of the imagination, but he looks like a child. There's a cover, like a child in there against the Puerto Rican Hound Dog. You got to question whether the effectiveness of kicks to the belly of the Hound Dog is actually there.
Xander won states in Olympic wrestling once upon a time. If he can get Hound Dog down, I think that would be the opening. I think you get rid of the tree trunk. Ooh,
Flapjack!
or else, unfortunately, you let Hound Dog have the base. That's what's going to happen if you're the Miami boys. But now the big question, Simon, is can Hound Dog get to Little Dog?
These guys need to stay on the Puerto Rican Hound Dog. I don't think Hound Dog knows which part of the ring he's at. He might as well be 10 miles away, but there we see the tag. He made it. Gemini in. Big clothesline to Baby Keith. A jumping knee. Keith is out on his feet. Takes a swing and a miss.
And remember, Keith is the legal man.
Death Valley driver into the pin. Lateral press, 2, 3. No!
And you see Damian Gemini was hoping shock and awe was going to be the answer. And now we're going to find out for this young man. Does he have an answer? What do you do when Baby Keith won't stay down?
Wow, he just kicked. This is Sparta. Kick right back into his corner. And what could Xander be going here? Oh, he says it's over for Damien. Damien slips out into the ropes with a swing and a miss, and Xander comes in.
Whoever gets the better of this could be the end of this matchup, and Baby Keith knows it. Look at this roll-up. Got him!
Holy smokes, Trevin, what a finish to, I can't believe what we just saw.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I clearly missed the tag.
I completely missed it, but the superior tag team work of Xander and Baby Keith, I am very impressed. They slipped one past the Hound Dogs. Holy smokes.
And a great tag team matchup. Ooh,
Oh, and Hound Dog is not happy.
could be some animosity.
The Miami boys literally clapping back. Baby Keith extends his hand out to the Puerto Rican Hound Dog, and there we see the sportsmanship.
And I think Hound Dog said, you got one on me this time, but next time. And I can't wait for next time. Main event time here. It is season 5 of Just Wrestling. It is episode 2, and this is Solomon. Who's Solomon's opponent going to be?
Stepping over the ropes. Who's Lee going to pick? Oh, look at these. Univice. And wait a second. Trev, what is...
And Ray Elliott? Who did Lee just pick?
I think there's a little confusion going on. Uni's getting ready to fight. Ray Elliott's getting ready to fight. What is Lee telling?
Wait, is this a handicap match?
Oh, Lee just held, he's just said it's a three-way dance.
It's a triple threat.
Lee just looked over in our direction and said three-way. But they're literally helping each other take their gear off.
The running buddies, Vice and Violence. But there's another thread here in this matchup, because here's the situation. You know who trained all three of these men? Francisco Kiato. And smartly here, the Brute, as well as Uni, going after the big man, Solomon.
Trev, I'm going to take it a step further. Not only did Frankie train all three of these guys, Univice was Frankie's roommate. So you can imagine the type of stories he picked up, the advice, the tutelage that Frankie imparted onto Uni, late nights being roommates together.
But it's very smart here. You know Solomon is huge. You know he is dangerous. So the usual tag team that is Vice and Violence working together to try to eliminate the big man.
And you can see it right there. They are working like a finely tuned tangent, but Solomon, whoa, double spine buster. Who's going to go for the cover, though?
And it could it be? Nonchalant. Ooh, broken up.
Oh, here we go, baby. Here we go. The Brute says, not in my house.
Hey, only one fighter can win this battle, and obviously...
Yeah, but Trevor, are we going to actually see the... There it is. Never mind. My
Yes.
question's been answered.
I think Vice was shocked at first, but now...
Ray Elliott threw the first shot, firing the first punch.
Hey, sometimes when you're a tag team, you know this better than anybody. You just want to unload, get some of the frustrations out, and could be the end.
Frankie and I only faced each other across the ring on 2 separate occasions. And both of those were some of the hardest hitting matches, also the most frustrating because, as we spoke earlier, he knew what I was thinking, I knew what he was thinking. And as much as you like to get out the frustrations, at the end of the day, that's your brother. You're striking, kicking, punching, clawing at. Here's the cover. So you gotta imagine there's a little bit of remorse, a little bit of trepidation on behalf of Ray Elliott and Univice as Solomon just bides us time in the corner. The last thing these guys want to do is give the big man a chance to recharge.
And that is what's happening. You can see in the background there, 6'7", 300 pounds of Solomon is
6'7"?
recharging. 6'7". And that's without his shoes.
Wowzer. And there's a cover.
Yeah, it could be the end.
Uni still wrestling with a fanny pack, a Playboy fanny pack at that. Solomon Grundy, come on, that's disrespectful. Solomon is not a zombie, although I think he could take it to Batman if push came to shove.
Could look like a horror movie coming from the background here by the time that Ray and Uni get done fighting in the center of the ring. And you got to remember, as much as, oh wait, again, the pinfall, as much as they're partners, as much to your point, this is a special night. This is season 5. This is episode 2. And our main event, what a boot by Solomon.
How do you take your eyes off the biggest man in the match? Lifts Uni up like a child. Uni trying to break that chokehold. Ray ineffective in his effort and gets a choke of his own. Up in the... yes! Choke slam. Almost through the ring to cover.
You don't get up from that. Oh. And Uni knew it, breaking things up, saving Ray Elliott. And here's the situation. Not only is it the main event, it's the final fight of Season 5. You want to be the last thing seen. You want to be the memory for Francisco. And, oh gosh, Solomon right now, the memory we may have of this season is the horror movie moment.
Yeah, we may have the lasting memory of using a spatula to scrape Univice off the canvas if he's not careful. Here's another thing that I noticed, Trevin. When Ray Elliott and Univice were going at it, it's one thing to exchange holds. It's one thing to slam your partner. These guys were slugging for the fences, not afraid to dole out a potential concussion, knock out a tooth. But now Solomon's in complete control.
And not only is Solomon impressive in the ring, he's a touring musician. It's a young man, talent galore, and with a size like this.
Interesting choice of attire. Everybody's talking about my leather pants.
Hey, heavy metal, heavyweight is in full effect right now.
Did you just come up with that? Heavy metal heavyweight?
No, I definitely didn't.
You should have taken the credit, Trev.
Elbows galore.
With each elbow, he's got to be shaking something loose. I mean, Uni's not the brightest bulb in the bunch, but he's definitely getting rattled. What a right hand. What a punch. And there's another. He's trying to punch through his face.
We've already seen one Shiner take a face and blow it up, and it could happen again here on both sides for Solomon.
And we do need to report, Trevin, that the cheese did suffer one hell of a goose egg under his eye. Black and blue and green, it looks like a bag of melted Skittles over a grapefruit beneath the cheese's eye at the hands of Eddie Torres. STO. Uranagi slam, and Uni now sizing both of these men up. Who's he going to go for, Trevin? The Giant or his partner?
I think whoever comes first, and it looks like it was going to be Ray Elliott, but Elliott instead with the answer. Oh, wait, no, it's the counter. I missold it.
I thought that was a rock bottom. Univice with a flatliner. A move that Francisco Kiato used as his finishing maneuver. He called it the K5. I watched Frankie win many a match with that move, and how poignant. Univice, Frankie's roommate, wins the main event of Just Wrestling with Frankie's finishing hold. Wow. Wow.
A little bit of momentary trouble in paradise here between these two teammates, but I think this was the night you got to understand it.
And there you see Ray Elliott's boots, the mark of Francisco Kiato in those brass knuckles, the show of love.
Remember, Vice brings the party, Brute brings the pain. What a way to wrap up the season. Any party thoughts?
Well, you can't see what they're pointing at, but we'll let the fans at home know there is a giant banner of Francisco Kiato hanging right above our announce table. That's what Uni and Ray were pointing at, and there's the love.
And for Simon Says, I'm Trevin Adams, and thank you for supporting Just Wrestling. Thank you, Frank.
Love you, Frank.
to one.